Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
This week, Sports and Outdoors is not only about watching people compete. You can see Malaga's traditional jábega boats race through the port, catch the annual port swim on Sunday morning, or head west for international polo. But the bigger discovery may be how many ways there are to experience the coast from a completely different angle, even if you do not normally think of yourself as sporty.
So we will begin with the strongest local event, then give you a few shorter sporting options before moving into practical holiday ideas. Some require only a walk and a pair of sensible shoes. Others put you on the water for the first time.
On Saturday, the 8th of August, Muelle in Malaga Port hosts the 64th Regatta de Barcas de Jábega. And if you have never seen a jábega race, the first thing to understand is that these are not ordinary modern rowing boats.
The lane draw begins at 4:30 in the afternoon. The racing starts at 5, and the trophy presentation is scheduled for 9 in the evening. Spectators do not need to register, and the event can be followed from the accessible public areas around Muelle dos.
A jábega is a traditional Malaga wooden boat connected to the fishing communities of the coast. It is heavier than a modern racing shell, the rowers sit in fixed positions, and the whole crew has to work through rhythm rather than individual speed. That is what makes the race so satisfying to watch. You see the effort, but you also see the coordination.
This is the concluding regatta of the 15th Liga Provincial de Jábegas Copa Almoguera Gran Premio Ciudad de Málaga. 58 crews are involved across the competition.
And the setting could hardly be more Malaga. The boats are racing inside the city port, with the waterfront, promenade, and skyline around them. It feels both sporting and historical at the same time.
Even if rowing is not normally part of your holiday, this is one of the easiest ways to see a genuinely local sporting tradition still in motion. You can arrive for part of the afternoon, stay for several heats, and watch the atmosphere build toward the evening presentation. Follow the event barriers and port staff instructions, and do not assume access to the working quay itself.
Then, on Sunday morning, the same stretch of water changes completely. The 66th Malaga Port Swim takes place at Muelle dos in the Dársena de Guadalhorce.
The course is 1,000 meters around 3 buoys. The final briefing is at 10:10, and the first start is at 10:15, with the second group following afterwards.
It is an unusual thing to watch because the setting is recognizably urban, but the event feels very direct. Once the swimmers enter the water, it becomes about breathing, pace, direction, and concentration.
Registration will have closed by the broadcast week, so this is best treated as a spectator event rather than a late invitation to enter. The race can be followed from the public Muelle dos area without assuming access beside the participants' starting boxes.
Together, the regatta and the swim show two completely different relationships with the same harbor. On Saturday, traditional wooden boats and coordinated crews. On Sunday, individual swimmers taking on the course themselves.
For listeners already staying on the western coast, there is also the Silver Cup stage of the 55th International Polo Tournament in Sotogrande. Qualifying matches run throughout the week at the Ayala and Los Pinos grounds.
Polo can look very elegant from the side of the field, but at full speed it is physical, tactical, and extremely fast. The riders are turning, accelerating, and changing horses while trying to control a small ball across a large field.
Lower and medium handicap matches generally appear through the day, while several of the named high handicap matches take place at Los Pinos in the early evening. Ordinary match attendance is free and does not require advanced spectator booking.
The last chucker area between fields 3 and 4 adds food, shops, a children's area, and a wider social atmosphere. So even if you do not know the rules of polo, there is enough happening around the grounds to make the afternoon feel accessible.
This is especially worth knowing about if you are based around Estepona, Manilva, or the western end of the coast and have never seen polo played at full speed. For visitors staying much further east, remember that Sotogrande is in the San Roque area of Cádiz province, so it is a substantial journey rather than a casual stop. Check the official daily fixture before traveling because sporting schedules can be adjusted.
Those are the week's sporting events. Now for the part of the guide that may change what you do on holiday. You do not need to be a serious athlete to see Malaga and the Costa del Sol from a completely different perspective.
We have 4 options, starting with the easiest. A twilight walk above Malaga City, an early morning nature walk at the Guadalhorce estuary, a first paddleboarding session, and a guided kayak experience experience around the Nerja and Maro coastline.
The simplest option is Gibralfaro at twilight. Most visitors see the hill from below, looking up from the historic center or the port. Walking it in the evening changes the relationship completely.
There are routes from the Plaza de la Merced side and from the Malagueta side. The gentler option climbs more gradually through shaded sections, while the more direct route is steeper.
The reward is the view. The port opens below you. The Alcazaba sits against the city, and the light begins to change across the bay. By the time the street lights come on, Malaga feels like a different place from the one you walk through during the afternoon.
This is the option for somebody who wants to do something active without booking a full excursion. Go later in the day rather than at midday, wear sensible footwear, carry water, and choose the route that suits your confidence.
For a quieter morning, the Desembocadura del Guadalhorce gives you a completely different version of Malaga. This is not a mountain hike. It is a flat, wetland landscape on the western edge of the city, between the branches of the river.
The paths pass lagoons, reed beds, and covered birdwatching hides. Because the terrain is flat, it suits visitors who enjoy walking but do not want steep climbs or a technical route.
And it can be surprisingly peaceful. You are close to the city and airport corridor, but once you are inside the reserve, the experience becomes about water, birds, and open space. Flamingos and other bird life are possible sightings, although wildlife is never guaranteed.
An early start is the useful approach. The route is easier before the heat builds, and you still need water, sun protection, and comfortable shoes even though the ground is mostly flat. This is the nature option for families, walkers, and anyone curious about a part of Malaga that is often overlooked.
If you would like to try something on the water, paddleboarding is one of the easiest places to begin. And the useful discovery is that you do not have to stand immediately.
A beginner can start kneeling, learn how the board moves, then stand only when comfortable. That makes the first session feel much less intimidating than many visitors expect.
You also see the beach differently. From the shore, the sea is the edge of the holiday. From the board, you turn around and the coastline becomes the view.
Suitability depends on the specific session, your age, swimming confidence, and the day's wind and sea conditions. Use a recognized operator, follow the instructor, and wear the supplied safety equipment. This is the option for somebody who wants to try something new without choosing a highly technical activity.
For the fuller coastal adventure, head east toward Nerja and Maro. Guided kayaking from the Buriana Beach area gives you one of the strongest "I did not know I could do that here" experiences on this coast.
The guided format is important. The coastline includes cliffs, coves, and sea caves, and the route depends on the day's sea conditions. Advanced booking is normally required, and age and swimming confidence rules vary between sessions.
From water level, the cliffs feel much larger than they do from the road. You move beside rock walls, into quieter coves, and past parts of the coastline that cannot be appreciated properly from a beach towel.
Some children may need to share a kayak with an adult, while very young children may not be accepted. The operator's rules for this specific session are what matter. This is the choice for visitors willing to make the morning or half day about the experience rather than add it casually to another plan.
So the options are very different. Gibralfaro gives you an easy evening movement above the city. The Guadalhorce estuary gives you a quiet nature morning. Paddleboarding gives you a first step onto the sea. And kayaking around Nerja and Maro turns the coast into the main adventure.
For water activities, one shared rule is enough. Suitability depends on age, swimming confidence, and the day's sea conditions. So follow the conditions attached to the specific session.
You do not have to be an athlete to make this an active holiday. Sometimes the nudge is simply realizing that the thing you have been looking at all week is also something you can move through. This week, you can watch Malaga's traditional jábega boats race through the port on Saturday. You can see the port swimmers take on their course on Sunday morning. And if you are staying on the western coast, you can experience international polo in Sotogrande.
Then make your own active discovery. A twilight hill above Malaga, a quiet wetland in the morning, your first paddleboard session, or the cliffs of Nerja and Maro from a kayak.
For final schedules, booking conditions, and current activity information, check the official organizer and visit malagaradio.net.
This has been Sports and Outdoors This Week from Malaga Radio, covering Monday the 3rd to Sunday the 9th of August.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.